Right, so that's what we did for fun all along. Just talking to you through here. So I could have continued this. I could have gone into my internet material at the end of that 13-minute spiel, but I thought I would separate the videos just for convenience sake. Um, is that alright? Right, this is interesting. Oh, wow. Ra states that it slash they, get it oneness, it slash they, are a sixth density social memory complex. So they have the veil because of the social memory complex. So it's 6D that they're living in, that formed on Venus about 2.6 billion years ago. Do you want to know the really interesting thing? Yeah, I did a channeling and I channeled what was called the Galactic Council from, no, it wasn't Venus, it was Mars, I'm pretty sure it was. Different races that were living on Mars, it wasn't Venus, but there you go. It formed on Venus. Okay, now, the divine gets to choose a topic that we're going to do now. So, he's crying because it's meant to be me that chooses, but we were going to do it together. So that's, I get a say in it as well, right? It's not just listening, it's also me getting to pick. They said third density, so let me be a dog and do third density by listening to people. This is what Dormout wisdom is, okay? Third density, right, there we go. Questioner. What is the length in our years of one of these cycles currently? All right, let's have a look at this. What was at the start? I want to find out what was at the start. Okay, the category third density has 8 subcategories: general, catalyst, death, lifespan, planetary mind, programming, roots of mind, and the veil. They are all the subcategories. Catalyst is like a trigger, right? Death, speak for itself. Lifespan, how long you're living for. Planetary mind, what's our minds like here. Programming, roots of mind, and the veil. What is the length in our years of one of these cycles currently? One major cycle is approximately 25,000 of your years. There are 3 cycles of this nature during which those who have progressed may be harvested. At the end of 3 major cycles, that is approximately between 75 and 76,000 of your years, all are harvested regardless of their progress. For during that time, the planet itself has moved through the useful part of that dimension and begins to cease being useful for the lower levels of vibration within that density. Interesting. Right. Oh. Yep. So this is about third density basically moving forward, 3D moving forward. How long does it take? Does that make sense to you? I hope it does. At what stage does a planet achieve social memory? I'm Ra. A mind body spirit social complex becomes a social memory complex when its entire group of entities are one orientation or seeking, or of one orientation or seeking. So that's when you go from light and dark free will choice, which is the second distortion, to time space reality with other things within the realm. So that's your 3D, okay? So that's group orientation or seeking. That's a group of entities which are of one orientation or seeking, right? So we're all one here working together. So there's more elements instead of just a duality. The group memory lost to the individuals in the roots of the tree of mind then becomes known to the social complex, thus creating a social memory complex. Yes. Yes, social memory complex. So that's when our awareness basically expands, and there's basically more facets to what we are existing in that we know that we can perceive. Social memory. So that means so social complex basically just means limited awareness. You are aware, and there's limited choices, like free will choices, different options, right? With you being aware of that. Social memory is like, oh, I know who Henrietta is. I know who John is. I can see outwards away from just completely absorbed in myself with my own choices. There's actually more here. That's your 3D time and space. That's your social memory complex. That's what happens when we incarnate beyond the veil here in the 3D, what we call the 3D. The advantages of this complex are the relative lack of distortion in understanding the social beingness and the relative lack of distortion in pursuing the direction of seeking. All for understanding / distortions are available to the entities of the society. Yes, so understanding and distortions is basically, so we've got distortions here. So basically that's like, pain and suffering and loss and lack mentality, all of that sort of thing from the truth, which is the God vibration, basically, at our essence, right? So we seek understanding to basically resolve these problems all the time through our life. And when we main freight, we're just doing it automatically. And yeah, we do think as well, like we use our logical reasoning to consistently be solving problems all the time. So that is available to the entities of society, that ability to be able to do that. I'm assuming it is not necessary, this is a question, I'm assuming it is not necessary for an individual to understand the law of one to go from third to fourth density. Is this correct? I'm Ra. It is absolutely necessary that an entity consciously realize it does not understand in order for it to be harvestable. Understanding is not of this density. So you basically have to be main freight to get into fourth density is what that's trying to say. And you have to be task focused to get into fourth density. So by being at work and just basically, say you're a forklift driver and you're putting boxes of things together, like, I don't know, packing orders, for example, for a customer, that gets you into 4D because it gets you mind on focused on like objective tasks. So you don't need to understand the law of one to go from third to fourth density. Yeah, so it can still be harvestable because your soul is still in operation by using its creativity to be of function within the society. So it is it's being harvested basically in that task. Understanding is not of this density. It's not really of the fourth dimension. It's just soul utilization, I would say. How many levels do we have here in the third density at this time? I just want to clarify, what do you think of that? It's absolutely optional. It's not harvestable, is it? That's the only criticism we would make because it is understanding which you have. Okay, that's interesting. So understanding is not of this density. Yeah, so it's from somebody basically sitting here talking and helping people from this place. Huh. How many levels do we have here in the third density at this time? I'm Ra. The third density has an infinite number of levels. Infinite number because there's infinite decision making. And we don't quantify things, so the third density is infinite for that reason. There's not one third density level, that's not how it works. It's basically like a maze that you get to choose yourself, and the solutions within that maze are infinite. And without quantifying anything, we just say it's infinite number of levels, right? Because there's no level, actually. We don't even, I wouldn't even use the word level to give it a definition. It's a vibrational frequency, that's what it is. I've heard that there are 7 astral, and God said you're right, Wanker, there you go. I've heard there are 7 astral and 7 devashanic primary levels. Is this correct? I am Ra. You speak of some of the more large distinctions in levels in your inner planes. That is correct. Well, who inhabit the astral and who inhabit the devanic planes? I am Ra. Entities inhabit... Sorry? Oh, it's not really what we were hoping for. Oh. Okay, there you go. I am Ra. Entities inhabit the various planes due to their vibrational nature. Their astral plane varies from thought forms in the lower extremities to enlightened beings who become dedicated to teach/learning in the higher astral planes. In the dephanic planes, as you call them, are those whose vibrations are even more close to the primal distortions of love and light. Beyond these planes are others. Yes. Well, this is difficult. Our physical plane, are there 7 subplanes to what we call our physical plane here? I am Ra, you are correct. This is difficult to understand. There are an infinite number of planes. In your particular space/time continuum distortion, there are 7 subplanes of mind, body, spirit complexes. You will discover the vibrational nature of these 7 planes as you pass through your experiential distortions, meeting other selves of the various levels which correspond to the energy influx centers of your physical vehicle. The invisible or inner third density planes are inhabited by those who are not of body complex natures such as yours. That is, they do not collect about their mind's spirit complex as a chemical body. Nevertheless, these entities are divided in what you may call an artificial dream within a dream into various levels. In the upper levels, the desire to communicate knowledge back down to the outer planes of existence becomes less due to the intensive learn/teaching which occurs upon these levels. Okay, people, I must admit I'm actually not really with it. I'm a little bit tired, so I'm going to turn this off. Perhaps you can read this yourself, and I will probably join you a little bit later.